Hello and welcome to the Stover Farm channel. I'm so glad to have you here with me, and welcome to the finished farm. We built this together in Judith Plains, Montana. There's a full video on it. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it down below. We go from bare field to this. And you know me, I am always changing things, but I have been very good. Very, very good. And I've only changed a few things on this map. Now what we're going to do today, we're going to take a look at those changes, just show you the final version of this map, and then I'm going to show you the equipment. So the equipment that I chose. And I thought, and I could do that one of two ways. We could like buy it all together and then look at it, or I could buy it and then we'll look at it and see what I've chosen. I'm glad I've chosen the latter because well, it took me a long time. I was changing equipment left and right. I wasn't happy with certain things that I bought, and it would have been an even longer video than the initial build video. So you would have gotten super bored and left, and I didn't want that. So changes. First and foremost, I said I had to build a farm and stick with it. And the only way I was going to do that is if I didn't just overwhelm myself with fields. It'd be very easy to just start buying all these fields up. This field, that field, this field, all these fields. This is great. We'll have a massive crop. Problem is I've done that and I never really stick with it because I get bored. And I think that's a key thing to talk about with this game. The just repetitive nature of the cycle. I get that there's productions. I get there's other things you can do. But the whole plant, fertilize, harvest, cultivate, repeat over and over and over again can get a little boring. So if I keep it to just one field, and this is a 20-acre field, and yeah, I know you're probably counting. You're saying, Stover, I see a little field over there. What the heck is that? And what is this over here? This is a grass field. Yeah, technically there's, I guess, 3 areas on this farm. There is this small, I would guess probably 7 to 10, maybe 6 to 7 acre grass area. That's where we'll get our hay. We've got the main field. This is approximately 20 acres, according to the game. And you can see I've got some field tile in here, and I'm going to actually multi-plant this. So we're going to do multi-crops in here. Likely a combination of corn and wheat, maybe soybeans, I don't know. We'll figure that out. And then, so in real life, my wife loves sunflowers. She does such an amazing job. She plants them every year in a small garden that we have, and I always like to kind of have a small field just for her that I plant sunflowers in. And this is a probably 1.5 acre plot down here where we're going to put sunflowers. And it works out really, really well because if you remember this entire field sloped down towards, well, it actually didn't slope. It came over to an abrupt ending and then just like dropped off into the river. This is the Judith Plains River. I didn't like that. So what I was able to do is sculpt in a little bit of ramping, a little bit of smoothing, this really nice drive down to Meg's field. And I think it works out pretty well. It's also fenced in. We could potentially put some cattle down there. Speaking of cattle, the other change that I made, I could not get dairy out of the barn that I chose, and I didn't like that. So I added, I think this is probably more of a European style milking barn, but it works. It fits. It only can hold 60 heads of dairy cattle, which that's great. Then I loved having this open pasture here, so I found a small cattle enclosure, used the same area that we built together. I just kind of spruced it up a little bit with a little bit of detail, and then over here I threw a bank barn in. So this bank barn is, it's not an animal husbandry or enclosure, but it really fits the area quite nicely. And underneath, there's an area that I put a small little calf area, and I think that'll hold up to like 2 or 3 calves, and you can, let them grow in there and nurture till they get a little larger, and then they can go out into the pasture. So that's really the only modifications. Oh, and then this. I get so sick and tired of not having the railing. I just made some railing in Giants Editor. I actually released this. If you want the railing, it's out on my itch.io page. It's just little like sections of railing that you just drop down on here. They've got collisions on them. You're good to go. Finally, you can have a realistic looking deck. The pillars are still just a decorative item. I think they're like a bell tower. I don't know. It fit the part fairly well. And then the flooring, the actual decking is part of a bridge. It's a bridge pack. I think it's really only like 1, 2, 3 wide here, and I've got maybe 15 of them placed across to make up that. And we go all the way out. You can see where the actual farm is in comparison to the other farms on Judith Plains. We are down in the valley by the river, and it should be fun. I think it'll be enough in farm sim play to sustain this farm. Probably not enough in like real life to sustain a farm. And speaking of equipment, I've got way more equipment than I ever need. I always do that. A farm like this, like, let's be honest, you could probably get by with 1 medium-sized tractor, 1 small tractor, all the implements that you need, a pickup truck, and maybe a grain truck, and you'd be done. Yeah, I didn't do that. Why? Because I can, and I like equipment, and I think you all do too. So let's talk about that right now. And we'll start with the old red barn here on the right, which I put in. Parked over here, sadly, all alone, is the cattle trailer. This is an ASUS, I think it's a 24-foot trailer, 30-foot trailer maybe. And I got the old first-gen Ram. And while we're talking about this, if there's any mods that you see that you're really, really interested in, comment down below. I'll do my very best to tell you where to find them. All of these mods I have found they're publicly available, meaning they're on itch.io, they're on King's Mods. I actually prefer itch.io because it's coming directly from the modders themselves. Although I do go to King's a lot. In fact, I post typically on itch first, and then I upload to King's. But then I always find that like a bunch of other third-party sites inevitably steal the mods off of King's or itch, and then they just post your stuff everywhere. So if you want the proper mod, go to itch.io, and you will get it. Beautiful, beautiful Power Ram 350. And I'll tell you what, I believe this is a gear wrench modding truck. Gear wrench, you are doing something beautiful with your paint. I don't know what it is. The metallic and the gloss on this truck, on the Ram, the 2nd gen and the 3rd gen Ram, and then the 4th, just beautiful. Really, really, really nice. And I love the long bed. So it's a long bed crew cab. Amazing. But it'll sit over there, and yes, we'll use that to properly buy cattle. We will go to the animal dealer and buy our cattle. You're going to notice a combination of red and green. I like red and green things. So I've kind of kept the grass side of the house, which you would think would be green. Well, it's going to be red. So 1590 Moco, just a very simple, it's like 4 meters wide. Does a very, very nice job. It's a nice mod. I like how it performs. I like the way it changes sides, and the modder coded it so that you can use your joystick on your gamepad. Because I actually use a Xbox Series S game controller, and it works extremely, extremely well. In here, okay, so I didn't set a budget. I didn't say that I had to stick under a certain amount. I know a lot of modders, a lot of folks that are role-playing, they'll say, like, you know, we're going to start from 0, or we're going to start with 10 grand or 100 grand. I didn't really care about that. I just wanted to be reasonable. I wanted to buy reasonable equipment. I did go a little crazy on this tractor, and I like my baling tractor, my mowing tractor, my rake. You know, if I'm going to have one tractor do it all, I want it to be a CVT or IVT. In this case, I don't know what Case calls their IVT. I know John Deere's IVT. This is a 170 horsepower Case Maxim with a loader. So the 630 loader on the front, got some bale spikes. It's quickie. And again, not huge, but not small. And I like IVT. I like a continuously variable transmission for this, because I'm not very good when it comes to like moving back and forth between the keyboard and the mouse, and I mess up the bales. Sticking with the red color, the RB456. I believe this is just an in-game mod hub. This is like base game here. It's the perfect size. It's small. It requires 120 horsepower, so it works really, really well with that Case Maxim. And then a Vicon Fanex 604 Cheddar, 60 horsepower. It's only like 6 meters wide. I didn't go crazy on it. But again, it's red to follow suit with the Case. And then you can see, haha, for like field duty work, we're probably going to go John Deere. And I've got 3 seeders and planters in here. So I got 2 planters and 1 seeder, excuse me. The 7000 is a 6-row planter. That's what we're going to plant Meg's sunflowers with down there by the river. Very inexpensive. It'll get me down there. I don't think anything else would fit down the road. And then over here, we have the 1590. This is also this is a seeder, excuse me, grain drill. We'll plant our wheat with this. Kind of an older design. I like it. It's really nicely done in the game, too. Apparently we're moving. Gravity I jumped on it, and the weight of me is moving it. And then the 2117 CS that we'll plant the main field with. Again, I didn't want to go super, super crazy. I wanted to be somewhat realistic on what you might use on a field that's only 20 acres. And again, I get it. Like 20 acres, that's not going to sustain a farm of this size in real life, but I think it will in the game. And then the girls love to go camping. I think this is Hashi's RV, I believe. I could be wrong. Sorry if I am. Really nice truck, though. The old E450 Fleetwood. It's got a couple of pullouts on it, and they do expandos on the side. Very, very nice. So that is what is in this barn, and we can now, let's turn right, and I'll take you over to kind of the house equipment. Oh, and we got this too. So, yeah, I've got a 25-foot grain head just sitting on a Brandt 20-foot trailer. I never can properly put these things on like their correct trailers because I never can back them up properly. It's just easier to throw them on a flatbed. I like it much, much better. Okay, we're walking through. Oh, we did have these. So these are apple trees. These are cool. You can control them like a production. You add manure, seed, some fertilizer, and water, and you get apples. Really nice touch. That's available, I believe, on the in-game mod hub, actually. As a farmer and an outdoorsman and, you know, someone that likes to DIY, you've got to have a trailer, a low deck tilt trailer. So that is there. That will tow really any of my small pieces of equipment. Go and get feed, go and get seeds, you name it. And I went a little ham in here. Yeah, I know. You probably would only need, like, one skid steer on one of these compact tractors, but hear me out, okay? Hear me out. I do have a push mower. It works. I do have a wheelbarrow. It works. I made this mod. This is the 4110 John Deere. I've got a 72-inch 7-iron deck on it. I really like the way it cuts. I like the way I built it, and it's mine. I'm proud of it. It's not perfect, but it does its job. And I've also got, you know, a water trailer for the back of that. What I didn't do with this, I didn't properly build or think through how to have a loader on this. On my 2210 that I also have out, it's a subcompact of this. I do have a loader for it. It works really, really well. So because of that, I've got this, and then I also got the 3046R because it's got a really nice loader on the front of it. And it's just, again, it's a far superior build to what mine is. It's quite nice. But if you like an old school tractor with somebody that was learning modding at the time, go check it out. It's on my itch.io page, and it still works just fine. Then there's this thing. This thing is a beast, the Ventrac. I see these all over the place. They're expensive little buggers, too, I'll tell you that. Four-wheel drive articulating tractor, super cool, saw it on itch, had to get it, didn't care that it was overkill. Figured I'll like cut ditches with this out front, cut the main road. I don't know, something. There's a ton of implements available for this. And, I mean, if you have the money, why wouldn't you have something like this, right? It's awesome. And then, you know, your simple implements for the 3046. There's a log grapple and then some pallet forks. That's all pretty much standard flair. The Bobcat, this just came out on the in-game mod hub. It's actually a skid steer that I actually like driving in the game. All the base game ones were, I don't know, they didn't turn right. Their controls felt a little wonky. This one actually feels really, really nice. So 145 horse, it's 6.2 tons. It's big enough for this small farm. And that is my toy shed, which will only get bigger, I'm sure, because you got to have more toys. Very small gravity fed diesel tank. And then in here, we've got Meg's 4Runner. It's a 2011 4Runner. And then we've got my 7.3 Power Stroke right here. Beautiful, beautiful. Again, this is that paint that I was talking about. This is, I believe it's Gear Wrench modding. You've done something. You've gone in Giants Editor, and you've added shaders, and it's really, really nice. Like, it's some of the most authentic looking metal flakes that I've seen in the game. So very, very, very nice there. Then Meg's garden over here, and then I think we've got what we can do. We haven't actually added any animals. I haven't actually started playing the game. I wanted to finish it up first, take you on the tour, and then figured we'd start playing together. So we've got chickens that can go here. So on the farm, it'll be dairy cattle, it'll be beef, it'll be chickens, and that is, you know, apple trees. Those aren't animals, but you get the idea. All right, to the big shed. Over here to the big shed. This is where things are a little more green than red. And you'll laugh because, again, red is cutting the green grass, green is sitting in the red barn, so, you know, juxtaposition, whatever, I don't know. Should have gotten into literature. 4955, one of John Deere's most iconic Soundguard tractors. When you see this, you see old images of John Deere, this is what you see in your mind. That and the 4440, or the 40 series. So 40 series and 55 series, just spectacular. Two-wheel drive. This does really anything that I need. It's 220 horse. It's not the biggest, baddest thing out there, but it'll pull this square baler just fine. I can put a disker on it, even though it's two-wheel drive. It will pull. It will work. It is old. It does not care. It does not take DEF. It does not have emissions. It is just a beast of a machine. Similarly, another beast of a machine, the old 9600. Again, nothing fancy on this thing. It is just a combine that works. Old school. There's not a yellow top on it. We're not doing GPS. This is not like 8 million horsepower. This is 253 horsepower. But I've tested it. It's fine. Runs that grain header just fine. It cuts grain, and it was a heck of a lot cheaper than an X9 or an S7 or an S6 or whatever you name it, it will get the job done. I didn't need this right here. I could have bought a pull-behind sprayer, but this is another iconic John Deere tractor that I absolutely love, the 8000 series. Really, in my mind, from when I grew up, I think it's this and it's this that is John Deere. So I had to have one. 8210. Again, I didn't max these out horsepower and implement-wise. It's 211 horsepower. It's a medium-sized tractor. Really, really nice. And then we've got a Shepherd sprayer on the back. Takes 100 horsepower. It's 20 meters wide. It was inexpensive, and I think it will get the job done. Baler, 690 John Deere. A lot of these are now out, so there's a lot of older equipment coming out on the Mod Hub. So I like older gear. I do. I really, really do. Into here. What do we got? This is the main shop, heated shop. So storage. What do we have? We got a little Helm Pro, Liquid Fert. And this is the beauty of having 20 acres only. This is all I really need. This is 2,000 liters of Liquid Fert. I've got a little bit of glyphosate here. The Corteva, I don't know if it is or not. It's probably, I don't know. I don't know what's in it. I don't know if it's a name. I think it's a name brand, but we haven't gotten brands for fertilizers and herbicides like we have for seeds and stuff. It'll come. It'll come. Modders will get there. Seeds. I do have the seed mod. So this is a pallet of corn seed. And this is a pallet of wheat seed. And then this is the sunflower seed. So really just 2 bags of sunflowers. I think that'll get taken care of for Meg. Yeah, there's a ISX 15 sitting up there. I've got engines that I built. They're all out on my itch.io page. I don't know, I just think it's cool to have some machinery. It probably wouldn't go up there on the top, but I needed it out of the way, so I put it up there. There's a 903 Cummins in the back of this Ram, and that's to kind of role play a little bit. A tractor that I actually have that has a 903 in it. I'll run out and show it to you real fast. So an old Massey 4900 articulative 4-wheel drive tractor. This only is 370 horsepower. 375 horsepower, kind of worn out. It's got a lot of hours on it. It does just fine, but I had a feeling that I was going to need to potentially do a rebuild on this 903 Cummins that's in here. And what better way to do that than to just find one out of an auction site? This particular one has a bad turbo on it. I don't know how many hours are on it, but, you know, again, the turbo on that other one's fine. We'll swap the turbo out. This looks like it's a newer engine. And I think this was rated at 4 1/4 horse, so we'll get a little more horsepower out of it. And that will make everyone happy. What do we got here? This is kind of it for tractors, big tractors at least. The 8345R, it's a 340 horsepower. This is my planter. This is what's going to pull some of my discs. It's a 2007, I believe. Very, very nice. Gets the job done. So then out here, you saw the Massey. A couple of neat things over here. These are objects that you can actually move. They're available in the in-game mod hub. They're dynamic, so you can put them down and actually move them around for role-playing. I thought that was really, really cool, so we added those there. In the Harvest Store, just I think it'll hold 400,000 liters of chaff. It's what we need. It would be cool to have 2, but 1 will do. International to, to suck everything out of the carts, blow it up into the Harvest Store. Gotta love an old Farmall. She's dirty. She's ready to run. And then a couple of Meridian bins, nothing crazy. A 8900 series 2-wheel drive case Pulling a J&M grain cart. And then your just typical implements, but I didn't want to go crazy here. So very small. Might not even need this. This is a Wilrick manufacturing cultivator. Only requires 145 horse. We've got a disker. This is the Summers disker. I think this is the in-game disker. Field roller, very, very important. So another thing you can do when you're only focusing on a few fields is you can turn everything on. So you can turn on rocks, you can turn on lime required. Turn on everything, and that will keep you occupied. But if you turn on everything and then you have like 30 fields, that'll drive you crazy. So that's what I'm trying. And because of that, I've got a Diegelman rock picker. Small rock picker. I've already used it. Works great. That 55 series pulled that. And what do we got? We've got to have a plow. Just a pull behind plow. I don't know how many shanks this is. It's a 15 shank plow or 15 bottom plow maybe. I think. John Deere. Works great. New Holland rake. We need that. And then I love this old John Deere forklift. Really, really cool. The JD 480B. It's a reverse tractor. Very cool. Again, found that on itch.io. You can go out there and search for it. What do we have in here? Well, we've got feeding. So feeding will come off the Harvestor. I will put in here, anything we need for the mixers. The mixers over in the dairy barn. And then we have intermittent power problems down here, so I wanted to make sure there was a generator on site. So I've got the 3406B generator right here. Let's just fire it up real fast for you. Stand by. I forgot how I do this. Okay, the lights come on. She'll fire up. And then we got to rev her up. About 2200 RPM, 2400 RPM. And then we'll switch, we'll hop out of it. Whoops, we jumped all the way out of it. We jumped over into the feeding barn. And there we go. So if we need to switch over, we can. I haven't run that in a while. We'll let that run just a little bit. I'm joking, obviously. It's my mod. You can go get it. It does nothing. I wish it would do something other than just sit there and smoke and burn diesel. But I thought it's kind of cool. So there you go. You got to have backup power, and it will run. You need to make sure you're in manual transmission, though, to be able to rev it up. International grain truck. We don't need a semi. We don't need $300,000 as a semi for this. We've got an old S1800. It's got a DT466 in it. It's like 200 horsepower. It runs like 50 miles an hour max on the highway. But it will hold... How much will it hold? I don't know. I think it's like 22,000 liters. It does just fine. It's all you need. All you need for this size of farm. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty here, folks. We're getting down to the end. So, what do we have? Just a little area, a pad to put some things on, a little bit of calcium carbonate sitting there waiting. Very, very small manure wagon. Meg will need that over in the garden, and you gotta have an old, dirty, just beat-up Toyota. It's awesome. I should probably actually paint it that beige color because I feel like they're all like black or beige, and they're either in just impeccable condition and they're on like sites like Bring a Trailer for 40 grand, or they hardly run. Well, they run great. They don't look like anything, and you can pick them up pretty cheap. Or not cheap, they still look like crap, and they still want a ton of money for them. That's neither here nor there. That's a different story. Manure, it goes here. Bobcat, we can pick that manure up, and we can throw it in that trailer. That works great. Ford, two-wheel drive. It's like a 250 TW20, 150 horse probably. Does just fine on this G.Skill wagon. We don't need anything crazy. There's going to be 60 head of cattle in here. We're going to start out really slow because I have the realistic cattle mod, so it completely changes around how you buy, sell, and maintain cattle on your farm. So that was the equipment tour. That's what I've got. That's what I have. I think it's the right amount, maybe a little overkill. But what we've got to do next is I've actually got to start planning. It's April 2nd. I'm playing 2-day months. Right now I'm in real time because, well, I wanted to do this tour in real time with you. I thought that would be, you know, perfect for you. We didn't want, like, rain coming in. So what you're going to see next in the next episodes of this is me starting this process, playing it out. If you have any questions, again, don't hesitate. Ask a question down in the comments. If you're curious about a mod, you're curious about something I did, I'll try and answer. I might not know the answer, but I will do my very best to try. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it, as always. We'll see you next time right here on the farm with Stovers.